The video is already filmed, but welcome to Kitchen Marketing. I'm Anusha Kannan, marketer, I'm an analyst, I'm a writer, a content creator, a podcaster. And this is the 360-degree marketing show with Anusha Kannan. Hello. As you can see, this is not your typical episode because I'm cooking and I was just like having these thought processes. Give me like 5 minutes. I'm going to go sit down at my place and talk about this, but I'm just going to start the conversation right here. Okay, so I'm cutting onions and I'm just going to continue talking. I did bring my microphone just to make sure the audio was right, but I don't have time for anything else. So I've been sitting with this feeling lately and I just needed to say it out loud before I forget what I'm about to say. And marketing feels exhausting to me. Not because I don't love it. I love marketing. And I think I've also talked about this in a couple different episodes where marketing just feels like everything is a pitch these days and how every piece of content is asking for something like click this, buy this, validate me, notice me, look at me. And I know that we're all building something. We're all trying to grow. But if you're anything like me and you start to notice this and you're also starting to feel this burnout, the noise, the sameness, the same colors, so much so that when I start building something, I kind of think like, oh my God, this color palette doesn't look good. I've changed the color of my website like a million times because I'm trying to make it look very like, oh, an AI software or software company's landing page. And there's this constant pressure to post, to refine, to prove. And the thing is, I keep coming back to this. Marketing is not about convincing people, right? It's about connection. So the reality that we're all living in right now, I was just using my iPad to kind of do some stats check. And I just read this and I will have this link down below in the description. According to a study published earlier this year, only over 58% of marketers have reported feeling overwhelmed. 56% said they feel undervalued. And half of us, literally 1 in 2, are dealing with emotional exhaustion at work. I'm going to sound a little wooey when I say this, but it's like soul deep exhaustion, right? And honestly, I'm not surprised. And when I read this study, I was not surprised at all because it's hard to keep showing up with creativity, with care, with the expectations that are there. And we have to be everywhere. We have to be everywhere all the time, saying something useful in under 60 seconds or less. I mean, chances are someone's going to be like, you know what, I don't even know what she's trying to talk and click out of this video because we have such less patience. We have no true appreciation for things that might come in the picture. Like give someone enough time, they will actually tell you what they're trying to say. We don't have time for that. Everyone's like, otherwise we don't want to listen. And that's why I keep coming back to stories. And I think storytelling is everything. It always has been, it always will be. And the reason that is because stories work. And studies show that when you tell a story instead of sharing just a fact, people are 22 times more likely to remember it. And not only that, stories are literally capable of changing the brain. When someone hears a good story, their brain immediately starts releasing oxytocin, right? That's the trust chemical. And dopamine, the memory chemical. And that's basically how connection is built. That is how you build connections. How do you know that someone can be actually your friend? The more you talk to them, the more you get to know them, the more you're like, you know what? I like the way this person thinks. I can kind of resonate with what this person is saying. And that is how you make good friends. And think about friends in your life that are like pushing you constantly to take their calls, to listen to their drama, or they're trying to say like, oh, I'll post stories with you every single day to show that I'm your friend. Those kinds of pushy feelings make you feel like, I don't really feel like this is authentic. I feel a little pushed here. That same goes for marketing. You build great marketing by creating resonance, not by being pushy. Here's the tricky part. Everyone in marketing is like trying to show proof. They're like, oh my God, look, we had X amount of people also buy this. We have like all of these tools and like these things that I think might be really useful to you. But what everybody is not thinking about is, when we're saying things like, here's why our tool is the best. Look at our case studies. Here are 500 plus testimonials. Don't get me wrong, that's great. And I think proof really matters. But what they don't actually think about is, do these people actually care about this proof? Like, do they care about all the things that we're trying to tell them that is going to be useful to them? Like, do they actually resonate with that? If you bring like a scientist and tell me that, oh my God, they used this tool, it was so useful for their scientific innovations, I might be in awe of it. I might be like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's actually helping science go forward in life. But how does that resonate with me? What am I supposed to do with that finding? And because I've used, some tools, some really top brand tools, some of the most top SaaS brands in the world, and everybody recommends them. I've used some of them and I felt like absolute, like I have. I've tried to use them in so many different ways, like basic ways, and I felt so burnt out. I'm not going to name names here, but I will definitely say their experience, the experience that they've built, do not care about a user like me. And a user like me, who's actually willing only to spend a couple different dollars on a couple different tools, I'm not willing to spend on them anymore because I would have actually been a very loyal customer, but the way their experience was built, I will never go back to that tool. And the tool was amazing. It's just the experience about like figuring things out. The friction inside that tool was so much. And the funny part is, because I'm a marketer and I notice all of these things, their messaging, their positioning, all of their marketing is always promoting clarity on how they make things efficient for their users. The product, though, only delivered confusion. And you know what happens when there's this disconnect between messaging and the actual delivery? Trust. You lose trust there. Trust breaks. And if someone walked up to me right now, for example, someone walked up to me right now, and since I'm job hunting, someone's going to tell me, hey, you know what? This is exactly how I landed this job. These are the tools I used. These are the messages I sent. This is how I approached every single interview, every single person I've approached. Here's how you can replicate it too. And what's happening here is a match, like a dating app. Okay, here's what you want. Here's what we have. This is how it matches. And when there is that, I would be all in. I'll be all ears, and I can choose how much I want to invest in that. If they're saying it's $500 per month to get this access, I can choose, hey, do I feel like this is something I want worth investing in? The thing here is it's about storytelling, because that person saying, hey, here's how I went through all of these steps and all of this trouble that you probably are going through, and here's how I've solved it. That's relevance. That's not manipulation. That's relevance. And that's not hype. That's matchmaking. I think we've evolved into this place in marketing where we're like trying to convince someone so much, like, we are the right person for you. We are the right tool. Here's why we're better than X tool. What about, hey, here's what we have to offer. Here's what this is for. If you're this person, show you're interested. If not, no hard feelings. Keep walking. I don't know about you, but that's what real marketing to me sounds like. And I think the major part of all of this is most marketing nowadays is about short wins. How do we go viral in one video? How do we push like 100 different trials and make sure we promote and like convert 90% of it? And I get that some of that is actually necessary. I've seen that with personal brands. I've seen that with podcasts. I've seen that with webinars. I've seen that with so many different avenues. But the best brands, they're in it for the long run. You have to focus on sustainable businesses rather than creating short wins. It's all about, let's launch this, let's make money out of this and exit in like X years. Let's make this amount of dollars and then take that and invest somewhere else and then keep doing the cycle over and over again. But like I said, the best brands, they're in it for the long run. Google, Microsoft, Excel tools that they're not just trending, they're not trendy, they're useful, right? You don't build that kind of loyalty with flash campaigns. Like, you're gonna be like, oh my God, use Excel, use X, Y, and Z. These are the formulas that we have. You don't use flashy campaigns. You build with integrity. You build with consistency, with real value that can compound over time. The future of marketing isn't about louder content, right? It's not about how loud can you be, where else can you be. It's about deeper context. And yes, AI is speeding everything up. AI is like way faster than any of us could ever like think about adapting to it. The minute you think you've mastered something, the next one is already there. And Connection doesn't work on speed. I'll tell you that. Connection works on clarity. Connection works on trust. Connection works on care and on timing. And I have another article here. According to Zendesk, more than 50% of customers will leave after just one bad experience. Case in point, Anusha Kannan, who did the same thing for a very famous tool. And when you really think about it, how much of marketing is actually building experience, right? And not just sells it. How much of your marketing, for example, whatever it is you're working on, how much of it is actually selling an experience versus just like, hey, we're just selling it because we need to, meet our goals, hit our targets. And I'm saying all of this because I needed to remind myself too, right? I started this podcast because I wanted a space to learn in public, to figure things out in real time, to experiment, reflect, and share. Give me a second. I had 3 goals when I started this podcast. Number 1 was I'm from a tech background, did not understand anything about marketing, did not have someone that I could look up to that had a tech background and talk about marketing the way I wanted it to be understood. Didn't have that, became that person myself. Number 2, wanted to share whatever it is I was learning and see if that actually made sense to the people out there. Kind of wanted to meet new people. Through that, was able to do that. Number 3, just wanted to have a source that will help me be consistent in the way I think. No, I'm cooking, but I was thinking about marketing the whole time because I'm like, what do I make for the next episode? What should the next episode be? What am I going to talk about? What is the next best thing? What are people interested in? What type of conversations do I want to have? What type of a marketer do I want to become? What type of a person do I want to become? All of these thought processes only happen because I have a source that's forcing me to constantly think. And I do have episodes. Most of my episodes are really structured. Like I have points to talk about, things I want to cover, right? And I have been structuring them. I'm a type A personality, so I script most of them. I'm telling like, hey, these are the points that you really need to cover. And I hit my quote unquote talking points. But sometimes that structure starts to feel like trap to me. And today I don't have a script. I'm just talking. I don't have even like, maybe I'll have a call to action, but I'm just thinking out loud, right? And I hope that it helped you feel a little less alone in this mess of people like trying to sell. Everybody and their mother has a perfume line. Everybody and their mother has a merch. Everybody and their mother has a meme that they want to post on LinkedIn. All of this is not wrong. It's just about relevance. What are you and why should people buy from you? What value do you offer? Do they even need what you have to offer? And I just want to feel a little more connected to the work I do. I want to feel a little more grounded and in why I do what I do. And I'm very focused on only being part of a future where I understand what value I'm offering instead of just forcing someone to buy something, forcing someone or manipulating someone into thinking that what I'm doing is amazing. I want to add value. And by that, I don't mean, oh, buy this X amount of tool because we're amazing at this. Hey, this is what you want. This is what we offer. This is how we think it's going to help you. This is what it costs. If you think it's not something that you want to invest in it, let's talk about it. Let's see what the right price is for you because we have a business to run. You have a need. Let's see how we can meet in the middle. So if you felt like you're part of the noise and you just want to like someone to think with, I hope this helped you a little bit. If you want to like more raw insights like this, frameworks and like deeper thinking, I would highly recommend subscribing to my newsletter because I'm going to be yapping a lot like this on my newsletter going forward because I have a lot of these thoughts and it's free. It's not, you don't have to pay anything for it. You can subscribe if you want to. And I'm very deliberate on not promoting my newsletter too much because I only want like the right people to be on it. My mother's on it, so that's perfect. I think my dad's on it too. Anyways, links in the description. I will talk soon and I will keep building things with what I believe in and I'll see you next episode. I was just watching the intro to kind of figure out what did I say at the beginning? Did I even say hi? And I said I'll go sit in my place and talk about it in 5 minutes. Of course I didn't do that because I was cooking, I was making onions, I was cutting onions and I was making quinoa. I will not show you my quinoa because people usually don't like how it looks. Here's the thing, here's a marketing lesson from that. Don't care about how it looks, care about what value it's adding. My quinoa is making me healthy, that's all I care about. I will see you in the next episode and if you feel like to me making episodes like this, let me know, and I would love to do something like this. I'm not a big vlogger, but I would still love to do episodes like this every now and then, because it makes me feel like I'm talking pretty on the go. So, love it.